Rob, of course, another hectic week coming up with two away games for you to digest. But first off, on the back of Saturday, obviously speaking to Carl after the game, it seemed like a pretty positive day for you. As obviously the winner side.
Yeah, I think the whole week was incredible. Obviously, 2 long trips against 2 good teams. Then, what was a first 30 minutes, a really good game of football against Oxford. They're a good team. Then obviously the sending off does make it a lot easier. I felt like we were starting to get in the ascendancy, but I thought the football we played was excellent. It was really clean, it was really precise. I felt like we were taking on the concepts that we want to put the ball at risk more. When we have time and space, we want to look to put the ball in behind, be direct in terms of never change the style of play, but once we get into them attacking areas, we want to make the most of it. And want to make sure we're affecting the goal as much as possible. Obviously, Marcus scoring a hat-trick was a massive plus in the fact that all his hard work, he's really working his game at the moment. He's trying to add more dimensions, and he he got his reward for it. So yeah, overall really good week. But again, it just never stops at this level, and especially the amount of games. So another 2 long trips against good teams. Woking, always a really tight game, really good atmosphere. They're physically very good. Got some excellent players, lots of experience. When we watched the game on Saturday, they grew into the game, and they pose a lot of threat in your box, and obviously defend their box really well. So we know that's going to be a tough game, and then obviously another long trip for Boreham Wood. But we're just going to have to take it one game at a time. And just said to the boys, we've managed to build that momentum through hard work and discipline, doing the little things well. And all I want to see is, I don't care about the result in a weird way. I just want to make sure that we don't come away from what's got us the results, because I'm adamant in the fact that if we do the right things and we do the little things well, the results will come, and I think that's what's showing over a period of time.
Yeah, and you mentioned Woking tomorrow, of course, a team that you've done your homework on a couple of times already, with a couple of the games being postponed, supposed to be down there in December and then January. But in terms of them specifically, similar to Oxford in the sense that they're scrapping to stay up at the minute in the bottom 4, but a different kind of encounter in the sense that you obviously go into their ground where the fans get behind them. It turns into a bit of a battle in that sort of situation. So there aren't any easy games, as everyone always says, but it could turn into a bit of a different kind of battle for you than Saturday possibly.
Yeah, 100%. I said if we don't want to do the out of possession stuff, if we don't rise to that challenge, we don't keep our structure and our shape, against Woking, they really will punish us, and obviously they've had a lot of injuries. They're getting players back now, and I think we're going to have to really be on our mettle in terms of our application, our mentality towards the game, and then the bravery after all that, after dealing with the physical side, the bravery to get on the ball and play, and stopping them playing, because they've got players who can do both. They can play, they can be a bit more direct, and obviously they're fighting for their lives at the moment. A bit of a false position in the league, in my opinion. I think they've been unlucky with injuries, and obviously the manager's changed things a little bit, and that's taken time. But they still, when you watch the games, they create a lot of chances and they pose a massive threat. So by no means do we look at the table and take that in any way, shape or form into the game. We sort of judge it on an individual, game by game basis, an individual team, and I think it's going to be a really tough test for us Tuesday, and I think we just have to solely focus on that. And trying to get 3 points and just keep this bit of momentum we've got going.
Yeah, and I mean, you mentioned the table a little bit there. Of course, the table's looking positive on your front in terms of the sort of playoff picture and sitting in those positions at the minute, but the whole league's quite tight really around the playoffs, around the bottom 4. But from a coaching perspective at the minute, are you really using that table as a motivation point? Are you still kind of putting it out of your mind? How are you seeing it at the minute?
No, I think we've got to start looking at it now and looking at we've got to use it as a bit of a catalyst, because yes, our goal at the start of the season was to be up and around the playoffs and to try and push for a promotion, but we're getting to the business end. I said it was the start of the end against Wilston, with the games coming thick and fast, and said to the boys, like, now everything we're doing with purpose. It's great when you look at the table and you see where we are in the league. And I said to the boys, that's your reward. Unfortunately, at the end of the season, no one cares who's played the best football. People care about who wins and who gets promoted and who finishes in them playoff spots. And I just want the boys to enjoy it and embrace it. There's no pressure on us whatsoever to finish there. We shouldn't be with the resources we have. on paper we shouldn't be anywhere near where we are, but it's just a testament to the boys and the club and the fact that we have to maximise everything we've got and the periods we've been through with injuries, with players leaving, etc. It's just a huge testament to everyone that we've been able to come through them moments and be able to restructure, restabilise, and also add another dimension to our play. We definitely have, and that's the most pleasing thing for me, is that the mentality of this group just gets stronger and stronger every week. And I just know that if we go out with the right mentality, that's all I can ask, and the rest I know will follow. So yeah, we just need to make sure that we use all these little bits of things to help us keep our confidence, but we also need to make sure we don't take it too far and we don't come away from what's got us there.
I mean, you mentioned a little bit in terms of the injury front there. Of course, it didn't seem like there was any new concerns off the back of Saturday. A few boys who were on the fringes of a return in the near future as well. So what's the picture looking like? Yeah,
it's good. Like Connor was on the bench for us, which was great. Obviously, the way the game went, he's got an issue with his ankle where we have to monitor him and make sure that Connor's going to be a huge part for us going into the end of the season. But we need to make sure that we don't lose him for games as well. So it was good not having been able to rest players on Saturday and make longer term substitutions and changes rather than just for the initial game. But yeah, Boots is back in the squad, which is great. He's been unbelievable for us this year, and to have him back is fantastic. And Kent's Tinks probably only a week away or so. Tommy not too far away, and Greggy's in the background. He's getting there. We just got to be a little bit more careful with Greggy and take our time because of the nature of his injury. But I think we'll hopefully see Greg on the pitch before the end of the season, which is huge for us. And it's just a case of making sure that we understand as a group that so many people have contributed to us being where we are. And I don't want anyone getting disheartened or looking at one team selection over the course of a season and feeling sorry for themselves or maybe taking it to heart. The beauty about this is we don't have a stronger 11. We have a strong group. And like Louis says, and like we always talk about, the pack's stronger than the wolf. And I think the biggest thing here we demand is that you're part of the pack and you buy into that, because I highlighted Dijon Brown the other day. Since he's come in, we haven't lost a game. Now, yeah, you wouldn't pick out Dijon as the reason we've won them games on the surface because he hasn't started, but every single time he comes on, he's helped us see out a win. He's helped us to win in terms of the Hereford game, and he's added that in tenacity, mentality, physicality, and for an 18-year-old, he's really added to the group, and he goes about his business, he works hard, and we're going to try and help develop him on his journey, and we will see more and more of him. So that's all I want from the boys, is a buy-in to, at the end of the season, if we have a positive outcome for the season, every single person associated with this club has had a huge input to that, regardless of minutes played or roles behind the scenes. And I think that's the mentality we have to have, because that's the only way we'll get stronger going forward.